My people, season 18, week 1. Welcome to game week. Done deal. The best league in history.
Yes,
With my
sir.
co-host,
Back.
we back. And to get things started, obviously, you know we love our sponsors. So I want to give a little shout out to our sponsor, Divine Sports Training. My boy Ace. Got a rep for my boy. He does anything from home calls to stretching to massages to anything athletic. Help you get right in your soccer, in your football, anything. Hit up Ace. He's your guy. I promise you he going to treat you right. Now.
Are you Ace or he's Ace? You look just like him, my brother. I can't tell who's who.
I don't know how he wears this. Let me tell you. 4 seconds in, I have a mic.
Hey, man. No comment, bro.
I'm going to try and do the whole show with this on. Let's see how this works. All right. Let's do what we do. Week 1. You're going to go favorites in the north, favorites in the south, favorites to win it all. What you want to do first, man?
Let's go. Which is the shitty conference? Have we determined that preseason? How did that turn out last year? Did the shitty conference turn out to be the shitty conference?
Of course. The Eagles smacked the shitty conference 4-0.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say the quarterbacks are weaker in the South for sure. Yeah, definitely. Of course. But 100%. Not the teams. I don't think the teams are weaker. I just think the quarterbacks are weaker.
That's because you're in the South, and that's what you think.
Whatever, dog. All right, let's start with the strong conference, the North. So I have, honestly, a few teams up there. Obviously, after week 1, we're going to be able to tell who really, is going to put it together on the field. But on paper right now, my favorite is the Bengals. I have the Bengals to win that conference. I think the quarterback play from Fredo, as well as the trade-off. I mean, he's not an elite defender, but he's also not, a muerto on defense. He's going to be able to provide a little bit of athleticism on the defensive end. So that's already a huge plus when you have that at quarterback. And he is an elite quarterback in DD, at least, and outside of DD. You couple that with Julio, who he has familiarity with from Mojo, and they play a lot, and he's going to provide, that role that Carlos and the other Julio used to play, which is, short. He has AJ, which is new to the league, but we scrimmaged with that guy a few weeks ago, and he's
awesome. He's tryhard.
Very good, and exactly, he's a fucking tryhard, which you need in DD, and that's going to be huge for Fredo. Then you got Enzo making his comeback into the season. I think he's going to play. He tries hard for certain people, and for other people he doesn't. So I think we're going to see a different Enzo this season. And yeah, man, I mean, their downfall may be on their lower tiers. They have, obviously less desirable players.
Of course. Yeah, so I'm looking at it. They have Jonathan, who was on the Seahawks with me last year, and then they have Tony, which I would equivalent to Davila more or less. And that's where we struggled a lot last season, was in the back end when me, Jonathan, and Davila had to be on the field at the same time. It's pretty rough defensively.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fredo is much better than me defensively, supposedly. Not sure. No. I'm nasty on defense. But this team's a lot better than I thought. I'll be honest. I didn't have them on my top 4, and after going through the rosters, I immediately put them in there. I don't have them as the favorite. I have, us and the Dolphins as the favorite. Obviously, I personally with the Dolphins, I think there's just a ton of experience there. It's not a lot of speed, I would say. But I would say that, with Jordan, Johan, and Kevin, you're looking at a very experienced Dolphins team. Obviously, with us and the Chiefs, I mean, I think that obviously with Andres as our tier 6, I mean, we have a big advantage. We also had Jeremy, who dropped like 30 spots. I mean, whether he's good or not, we don't know yet. We'll find out. But at the place I got him, I think he's a steal. The Dolphins, they also have Face and have Travis and Jose Gonzalez. So yeah, man, they're pretty solid 1 through 6, honestly. The other team I have up there obviously is the Vikings. I think Joan had obviously a great draft. When you put the best, I personally think the best quarterback along with probably the best safety, you would say in H. Um, you got to think that both those guys are going to carry that team to a top three in the standings. I mean, no matter what the rest of that team looks like,
Yeah.
and obviously Rogers is serviceable. I mean, he's not the 80th best player out here, but he's serviceable. Kevin G, he got in tier 6, but that's a steal. He could be a low end tier 5 and he could hold his own. Obviously, Ham with a good quarterback, we've seen what he could do. Bro, I like that team too, man. I think that's where the North is going to be battled out between the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Vikings, and the Bengals. That's what I
Yeah,
got.
yeah, I definitely see the Bengals struggling a little bit on defense, but that's also something that's not going to be as important this season if you're able to get ball more times than you don't, because
That's
that can
such an
happen.
interesting. That's
That can
so
happen a
interesting with
lot,
the.
So if Fredo gets the ball more times than defense first, it's going to be hard to stop that guy and the offense that they put together. He's always been able to score, even in DD when he's come in. He's always able to put up points, regardless of the personnel on the field. So he's going to be able to pick it up. I also agree with you on the sentiment of the Dolphins that, as far as the IQ, they just have people who play flag football in general, and then pretty much three of them or four of them are DD vets, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
And then you have Jordan and Kevin, who are originals from DD back in the day. So they're gonna go, they remind me of like old Patriots teams that, with the exception of like that year they had Randy Moss blow the roof off of everybody. Um, they don't really have a crazy athlete. They're just gonna pick you apart with intelligent football and try to play to their advantages. So I have the Dolphins doing well as well. I don't know how
Mhm.
far Jordan can take them as a top guy, but again, it's a long season, and I think they're not going to go in with that mentality of, oh, we need a top guy and just beat people with one person. I think it's really going to be a team wide effort there for them to maintain like a solid record throughout the season. It's going to have to be full team. And then, of course, you guys, I like your team a lot, and I like Joan's. To be honest, Joan, I just don't, I can't put him in there right now, even though I have them as kind of, bottom end favorites to win that conference. It's just he changes his team a lot. Um, I'm
Yeah.
positive he's going to trade Andy and maybe he keeps maybe he keeps Andy, but I'm positive both of them won't be there at the end of the season. So, I gotta wait till week 2 or 3 to tell you what I feel about the Vikings. Um,
I,
and yeah, that's that for the North. To be honest, everyone else is. We'll talk about you towards the bottom.
yeah. We'll talk.
Think you cut out there, my boy.
So for me, in the South, I think the best team is the Jags. I think that's the best team on paper, honestly. Um, Drew obviously gets Montano, and then he pairs him up with Danny. Danny is a Swiss Army knife. I love him. He could throw the ball, he could run out for passes, and then defensively, he's great. And then have this guy Philip, which I've seen play
Yeah,
in the scrimmage. I mean, he fell all the way to 20 something. That's a freaking steal. And then he gets another steal with Chiriboa, dropping to like 68 or wherever he dropped. So now essentially, Chidi is his tier 5, which isn't a terrible tier 5,
yeah, no, great,
Who is
super
their tier
serviceable,
6?
and above average speed for sure for a tier 5. So yeah, I agree with that sentiment.
Correct. Oh, and then they have Juan Sanchez, which obviously is they're gonna struggle. But again, another tier 6 that's serviceable, can center, can hike, and I mean, defensively, you can rush him against pretty much the statue quarterbacks like myself, for example, and then their
Yeah,
defense is not gonna hurt as much.
yeah,
I really like that team. I mean, obviously, I have the Seahawks at plus 900 right after the Jags. And it obviously with Anthony as your tier 6, Moscoso, that's a fucking nightmare. That's a freaking nightmare problem. Obviously, Perra is see what Perra can do. but Perra's a good DD quarterback, man. And
Right.
he might not be great at red zone or anywhere else, but in DD he knows how to DD. And he's been successful lately.
Yeah.
So I like your chances. Another team that I really like is the Falcons. Raymett had a good season last year. Like if you look at his stats,
A great
he
season.
he he threw the ball well, was always in the top 5 in fantasy points in Dundul. I just think that, like, obviously after Pat, they didn't have anything else. They kept trying. They got Petey. They got
Yeah.
other players. They had Norm for a little bit, and it just wouldn't work. But I think he built a good team around him, man. I mean, obviously Dusty and Wakeman. I love Wakeman. Clint,
Yeah.
another good solid corner. They have Boo as a solid tier 5, big guy, and then that Eric, that tier 6, bro. He's like 6'2", 6'3", and he could rush. I mean, in
Oh,
the
he's
scrimmage,
good.
he
I
was
saw him at a scrimmage.
he's
He's good.
yeah, he's good, man. In the scrimmage, he was killing it. So I like that team, bro. I think that's a sneaky little team that can, you know, that can make some noise. And then in fourth, I have Tronky, bro. Um, I think he's on a revenge tour. He went up and got Gary and was like, yeah, now you got to stop me, and I think that he has his number one to score, and then he has Lavaris as his defender to, Lavaris can knock down pretty much any ones and twos out there. He has Freddie, and then obviously his back end with Chris Campos and Harold is rough. But if Tronky gets the ball first, he's gonna score 4 straight, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to stop him. That's where it's gonna come down to with Tronky. I think he could get scored on 4, but he'll score 4 first. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm at with the South.
Yeah. I think that team's going to do great offensively. I can't say
Yeah,
the same about how they're going to do defensively. I think
of
Gary's
course.
a great offensive weapon physically and skill wise as well, especially in DD. He's definitely probably the top, athletic guy just based on his physique alone. He's a fucking statue basically. But yeah, I don't love what he brings to the table defensively. To be honest, he definitely lacks in that department, and obviously he's not going to be guarding elite level guys. He's not at a
Yeah,
fucking at Worlds or a travel tournament where he's covering crazy guys. But still, even then, there are some guys that I can see cooking Gary up out there,
of course.
across a few rosters, and that's not to knock him as a football player. Again, he's not a defender. If we're gonna be honest, he's a wide receiver, and if he were to play wide receiver all the time, I think he'd be probably one of the top receivers in Miami. But that's a different conversation. Yeah, it all depends really on Tronky getting the ball first, and realistically, if anyone ever gets a stop on them, they should win that game every time if they ever get the stop with Tronky, But
Correct.
then again, DD's really weird. Crazy shit happens. I've seen crazier things happen. Um, but yeah, I agree. They're gonna have a really good team and it's gonna flow well. Lavaris is gonna have to anchor the defense. Freddie Samino's a good piece to have there in the middle. So it's a well-rounded team, except on the bottom end. And obviously, Tronky's not one of the top defender quarterbacks that they would say, but again, he takes up space. I've seen him play DD defense, and he's not a liability on D, bro. He's perfectly fine. Obviously, you're not going to ask him to cover tier ones, but realistically, he'll do fine across the board for all fives and sixes, which is, I mean, as much as you want to ask for. I also agree the
Yeah,
Jags are the top team in this conference. Um, they're going to go as far as Drew takes them. Drew is not an awful quarterback. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's good. I would say he's like Joe Flacco shit after, you know, not elite, not elite, and that's no knock to Drew. Drew's a hell
but
of a football player and
yeah,
he could do a lot
I
of other things really well. But I don't
hey,
think
lost
he's that
some weight.
level.
He looks good, man. We saw him scrimmage there, and he was moving good, man. So I like, and again, he put good pieces around him. He could give Danny a handoff, and they could make some noise, man. I really like that team. I have them, and I have them to win it all, the favorite to win it all.
Yeah, no, I do
I
too.
think I think obviously they're them, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Bengals. That's who I got to win it all. I mean, obviously we have no idea until week 1, week 2, we could start seeing what's
Yeah,
up. But at least as far as on paper, I mean, those are the top teams that I see.
yeah, and definitely what I wanted to mention, that we realized last season that you don't need an elite quarterback in DD. And again, no knock to Chris J, but Chris J is not an elite quarterback. You know, that
And
guy's not
neither was Corona, and they went all the way
exactly,
to the
you know.
ship.
So you don't need that elite level quarterback if you have the right
The
tools
right
around, and
pieces
you use
around you.
them properly. So that's why I don't think that Drew needs to be the best quarterback based on the team that he has. But obviously he can't, turn the ball over, make crucial mistakes. If he uses his tools right, then bro, it's gonna be really hard to beat that team just based on
Yeah,
personnel
bro,
alone. Just personnel, it's
100%.
really difficult to match up with them. Almost
Yep,
impossible for anybody.
yep, yep. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna fast forward to our new little segment. Favorites for rookie of the year. What do you like there?
All right, so I haven't seen too many people. The only one I've really seen is AJ. So to be honest, based on what I saw from that guy and his quarterback, which is Fredo, I think that guy's the front runner. Uh,
Okay.
and then I have David Treasure. I believe he was ranked incorrectly. I'm sorry. I've heard from
Yeah.
a few sources that he went out to a couple of scrimmages and you know did what he had to do. So I see him doing pretty well. Again, I don't know a lot of the rookies too well, and some of them are the ones I do know are in systems where I don't think it's going to work well for them. For example, the Broncos have a lot of rookies. I don't think it's going to go well for them just because they play together in red zone. They do a lot of they're going to try to bring a different game to DD that just doesn't work in done deal. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's not because they're bad players. I just think that they were drafted into the wrong teams. So yeah, I think AJ was drafted into the perfect position to get, as we like to say, fucking fed. He's gonna get fed on that team a lot.
Yeah.
Him and Julio are gonna get 75% of the targets combined.
Yeah. So I mean, I also have there Mike Samuels that Corona took him. I mean, bro, that guy's a top 5 talent, honestly. Like I played with him in the scrimmage and I loved him. Great safety, great hands, obviously super fast. Now can Corona get him the ball? Can he make plays defensively? Can he put the guys in the right position? I mean, obviously, DD's tough. So we'll see what's up. But I mean, I scrimmaged against David Tesher. We got to talk to him to see how he says his last name. But I spoke to David, and bro, David's really good, man. David's really good, and with Chink and Kurt on his team, he's a mismatch. If your
Yeah.
third best player has to guard him, you're in trouble. So I after scrimmaging him, I have him as a favorite. I'll say that.
Damn. So I'm not gonna
Um,
be able to guard him in our game because I'm the third best player on the Seahawks on
yeah,
paper.
he's gonna cook you.
Like that?
Yeah, he's gonna cook you. Now, can Stritz get him the ball? We'll see. He was in the scrimmage, so we'll see what's up. That's all on Stritz because David's a matchup nightmare as the third best option on that team. I'll be honest with you.
Damn. No love for the
Yeah,
co-host. No love
no,
for the
no.
co-host. Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it week 2. Let's see what's up. Who won that matchup? Comeback player of the year. That's another little segment that we got. I'm gonna go first this time. I got 3 guys I really like. Dusty. I have Dusty as a favorite. Dusty was in a bad situation last year. He
Absolutely.
was, yeah, man. He was on the Saints, obviously, terrible team. But again, he's in a good position this year. He's with Ray Met. I think Ray Met's gonna feed him the ball as much as he needs to, but his job obviously is defensively and get the guys in the right spot. Another guy that knows what he's doing defensively.
Yeah.
And so I think he's gonna be great this year. I also got Freddie Bops. He started off on fire last year
Yeah.
and just kind of dwindled down. I don't know what it was with that team. Maybe Kurt was hurt. Maybe some guys weren't responding well to him, but I think he
Yeah.
bounces back, man. I think I really like his team. I think it fits him well, and I think that they'll make some noise. At least be a playoff team, and
Okay.
and
Okay.
The other guys, obviously, I'm a little biased on. I got Mikey V.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I mean, I think he's just had bad luck, man. I think he's
terrible luck. There's guys who've come
yeah
into DD and they don't have that luck. Like always end up on a shitty team. Look, Revis always ends up on a shitty
on a
team.
shitty team.
Ham
Yeah,
ends up on like a borderline shit team. Enzo, after he did the Captain Slayer, he ends up on a trash team every season. There's guys who just get
yeah.
dealt
So
shit hands.
And I think that with him, he's never had a well. He had Tronky last year, but he was the one option, because
Yeah,
Daniel really isn't a number one offensively, so he had to be the number one, and I don't think that's good for him. I think he needs to be a number two or number three option, and I think on my team, I'm gonna get him the ball in the right position, and I
right.
think he has a chance to finally make the playoffs. He's never made the playoffs, so I think I'm finally gonna get him into playoffs, and we'll see what happens.
Let's see,
Do you
brother.
do you have any names on the comeback player of the year
For
that are
me,
different?
a little different in there. Mr. Chink. I got Chink.
Ooh,
Mr.
I like
Chink.
that one.
Yeah, man. Chink has been out for what, 2 seasons now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
two
gotta take this
seasons.
shit off, man.
The Colts season and the Eagle season. So he was
Yeah,
last available the season we played at Tropical. So bro, Chink is, you know, we don't have to say anything about Chink. The guy is a legend in flag football. He's been playing for longer than some of the new guys have been alive. Um,
yep.
it was unfortunate he had an injury, but you know, Chink's always been in shape for his fucking age. Chink is what, 40 something years old,
I
and
don't know, but
the guy
he's
way
he's
better shape
solid,
than
man.
me. No body fat, puts in the work. So that's a testament to his work ethic and all that he's able to come back already. He's been playing in red zone. I've seen him fucking running goal routes, double moves. So he looks good. He looks healthy. Um, Again, I don't know Stritz at all. Like as far as the quarterback is concerned, and a lot of people talk about how he used to be the man back in the day. He used to play a lot of flag. I don't know him, and I wasn't around flag football back then, so I can't tell you what he's going to be able to do. But I think that he's going to be able to get the ball to Chink. I mean, if he can throw the ball, he should be able to get the ball to Chink, especially with Kurt taking a lot of the number ones, because I assume that people are going to put their ones on Kurt rather than a guy coming off a major injury. So I have Chink as my favorite. I just think he's going to shine this year as long as his quarterback's able to get him the ball. And yeah, man, Chink is that guy, and I think he'll be able to get it done on both sides of the ball, 100%. And other
I
than
like
that,
that.
I agree with the Dusty sentiment. And then I have
Yeah,
another third guy here that's going to piss a lot of people off, and people are going to be like, what the fuck? I think Enzo is going to have a really good season. He's playing with a guy he likes, a guy that he's, got ties to with Mojo and with other things. And he's played with a lot in outside of DD, which is Fredo. So I think he's gonna grind for him. He's gonna play hard for him, like he does for Joan, like he does for David. Those are guys that he plays hard for. So I think he's gonna play really hard. And granted, he's not my favorite. He's the bottom, but I think Enzo will be able to
I like it. It's
get
a
a
it's a
good
good little
season in.
sleeper. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good little sleeper. I like it. I like the pick. Um, all right, the next time you want to do Dundul,
Let's do it. Are we,
or
wait,
you
wait,
want
wait.
to
We're missing one. Hold on. We're missing one thing here.
talk about the shit bowl? I thought we were
Let,
gonna talk about that later.
nah, let's talk about the shit bowl so that we can get these bums out of our YouTube. We already got their view for the algorithm. They've already been here long enough to calculate the algorithm. They could leave the video
Yeah.
right now. We're still gonna be good.
All right, for sure. So what do you got?
All right, bro. I'm gonna be honest. In the South, I see a lot of people hating on the Broncos. I don't think they're going to be terrible. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to be a bottom tier team. They have a lot of athletes, like people who play a lot of flag football. Again, they're all rookies for the most part in Dundee. Will that
Yeah,
translate?
he has. There are five rookies. Well, four rookies. I'm sorry, four rookies, and then Marin and Vic, who haven't played in a couple seasons.
Yeah,
So it's essentially six guys that haven't played in the last two seasons.
yeah, man. It's it's rough, but I don't think that they're that awful. If they're gonna use week one, I give them week one to go 0-3 to figure out done deal. That's fine. You can
Yeah,
go 0
yeah.
3 week one. If they figure it out after week one, like on the second game towards the end of the game, and you see that in the third game, or they go 1 and 2 and they figured it out on the third game, they're going to be fine, in my opinion. I think they're going to be fine if they figure out DD. If they don't, then they're going to be on my list next in week 3. But I don't think they're an awful team to have as long as they figure it out. So in lieu of that, I have a DD or DD original DD vet, a vet that is gonna be sad when he hears this. I think the Giants are gonna have an awful season, and I think Chris D is gonna have his worst season ever.
Wow. I mean, he had a pretty bad one
I
that
don't like
last season
I
in
don't like
Tropical.
I don't like their team at all, man. Oh yeah, that was awful, dude. Oh man, that makes me sad because that was a good team, bro.
Yeah, it
Bro,
was a
that
good
team
team
was
that was
him,
never
Dax,
healthy.
Julio. Who else?
The kid that couldn't show up on time ever once. Ian.
Ian. Bro, that team was good. I don't fucking get how they were so bad. Dude, crazy, crazy. That's too long ago. Dude, their team now, I just don't like it, man. No me gusta. I don't know if it's that these guys just don't mesh. He picked up the Martinez brother, the better one, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
the more athletic one, rather. Not, I don't want to say he's better. He's just more athletic, definitely.
Yeah, Chris gives you other things.
Yeah, and they're different players, so I don't want to
Yeah.
compare them directly at all. So yeah, he got what I think is the more athletic of the Martinez brothers, which is fine. They're familiar from last season. I just don't think they're gonna put it together at all, bro. And then Jason, I love Jason. I think they're gonna have a good defense. I don't think they're gonna be able to score much, bro. And then I have the Saints. The Saints are a fucking debacle, man.
Yeah, I got the Saints too, man. And I don't think that there's so much a debacle. I just think that yeah, they are, man. I mean, he had two terrible picks in tier
Terrible,
five.
terrible.
He reached for Serge and he reached for Gianni. Um, and then I don't I saw Chris actually his tier six. He has speed, but I saw him just drop everything. So I don't know. I think that team's gonna struggle again. Rookie quarterback, rookie team. Um, Georgie, who I love, Georgie, is gonna have to do a lot of the
Yeah,
carrying.
it's gonna do. He's
Um,
gonna have to lead that team, in my opinion.
yeah, and yeah, I think they're gonna struggle, man. I think they're gonna struggle, and it's just because it's their first season, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
their
yeah.
first season, and it's so hard, man. It took me like for real. It took me 2 seasons to get into the playoffs, and it's because I never like it was hard for me to understand matchups, understand DD in general,
Yeah.
and I think that they're gonna struggle. I have Corona struggling. For the ship bowl competing there.
Yeah.
Um, they got a good team. But obviously, let's see what he could do. Right? Can he? He doesn't have as good around him as what he had last year.
Yeah, yeah.
I think. So let's see what he could do. I mean, he got a great pick at tier 5 with Robbie. If Robbie's your tier 5, that's a steal.
Yeah.
But I have
And
him down there. I have the Chargers down there, and it's just because they have a great top 3 with David, Kurt, and Chink. But when Alawal, DQ, and Stritch are on defense, I mean that's rough. So
rough, man.
I think that's gonna be rough for them.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm on the same boat with those two teams. And for what you mentioned about Corona, it's not even about that he had better players. He just had way more mismatches. Elvis was great, bro. Great mismatch for him to have. That guy is super underrated. I still think he's underrated right now. The guy he's good. He's physical. He's aggressive. He has a big
yeah, Elvis
body.
is great.
He tries hard. He cares. He gets in the game, bro. The guy's a good like. It's the kind of shit. There's different players that you need for DD than for like regular flag football. Like sometimes you need that fucking gritty ass motherfucker who's gonna go in there and like just make the play. And you need that in done deal when you're playing 3 games and everybody's fucking dead and there's only one guy, trying to make the play and fucking saves you the game. So he had a lot of mismatches. I agree with those two teams. I'll only be able to tell you as far as the Chargers are concerned after week 1 and I see how Stritz plays quarterback.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, obviously, all of our analyses are based on paper, right?
Yeah.
And how teams match up. I mean, we're really not gonna know anything. We'll know more obviously after the Saturday. Um, and hopefully we don't look like morons here. But
That
we're
happens.
out here, right? Who
There's
cares?
dumber
I've
motherfuckers
seen
with
it before.
national jobs.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's go to our done duel lineup, right? So I definitely took we took Met as our quarterback. I mean, he had a great season last year. I think he keeps it up. He's with familiar guys, and I think he's gonna keep doing him. We took Gary as the best tier one.
Easy.
I mean, obviously, yeah, that's easy money. I feel like this is the Tronky and Lulu effect. That Lulu was super expensive, but I mean, you had to take him anyways, just because he was going to produce anyways.
Yeah, you can't not
I
take
took
him,
Mikey V. Yeah, I took Mikey V just because I feel like I'm going to feed him the ball. And for $4, I think that's a steal. We also took Louis V, because Louis is essentially their tier 5, and I think he's a matchup nightmare at tier 5 for them.
Yes.
Which I also took Anthony Moscoso on the same team, which technically you shouldn't, but as their tier 6 man, I mean he's gonna eat, bro, and Petra's gonna find him, you know.
Man.
And then at tier 6, I have Alabao. I mean, I know it's expensive, but you got to take him with that money. I mean, I think Stritz is going to feed him the ball. He might not be a matchup nightmare, but he's a safety blanket, and he's a good one at that.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. We're going to jump right into rapid fire, and let's see what's up. You ready?
I'm ready, my brother. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right. Better rookie quarterback season, Stritz or Vinny?
Vinny.
Stritz. Grey Goose or Tito's?
Tito's.
Same. All-inclusive resort? Cruise.
Cruz.
All-inclusive. Better champion, Eagles or Colts?
Colts.
Better champion, ESS or Team Cuba?
Team Cuba.
Same. Better, college or NFL?
College football day, baby.
East Coast beach, West Coast beach? Florida.
West
obviously.
Coast beach. Always, all day.
Same.
I already knew what
Naples.
you were talking about.
What can you live without, pizza or burgers?
Neither.
Yeah,
Neither. Neither.
I go burger. You got to pick one. I go
delete
burgers.
all the other foods in the earth, and I'll go with
All
pizza
right.
and burgers forever.
Pool or beach?
Beach.
Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, I gotta go Bitcoin too. Non-conference schedule. You like it or you don't?
I like it.
I like it too, man. I like that everyone plays each other.
I like
All right,
it.
my dude. That wraps up week. Oh no, the Della.
Oh, this guy doesn't want to give anybody no money. No money.
Free money. Is that we're crustier for times. All right, boys. Ship station. We're going Florida +7. We're taking New Mexico State -7, and we're taking Florida under 47.
Okay. Woo! Week 0. I like it. I got Navy versus Notre Dame. Ship Navy +20.5. You can't lose
ugly.
that one. Hideous, but I like it. Week 0, everything's going to be scrappy. No way they win by fucking... We'll find out. There's no way. Nothing is no way. I also got some EPL action. I got Aston Villa versus Burnley. Burnley is off a long break in between week 1 and week 2 because they played that kickoff match week 1 and they haven't played their week 2 match yet. So I got Aston Villa at +105 as of right now. And I got Tottenham -115 versus Bournemouth. Live as we speak right now. They impressed me versus Man U. I think they're going to play well. They're supposed to be having a down season, but they're attacking well. Slam it.
All right, boys. Take it easy. Be safe. See you out there Saturday. Let's
See you Saturday, boys. Love you guys. Take care. SGSS for life.
I'm rich, baby. Okay, KK.